Welcome back to Soccer Cards United. It's episode 240 of the greatest soccer card podcast in the world. My name is Jason. That's Enzo. Hello, Enzo.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. It's a very exciting time, because for I think maybe the third or fourth show in a row, we have very exciting Dublin Card Show related news.
All right, hit us with
1st of
it.
March 2025. And we could say that vendor tables are now officially sold out.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have this.
Very nice.
Small applause. I'll cut it short. My apologies.
So there is now a waiting list open for vendor tables. They are sold out.
So
if you want to be,
we have a form now for vendor tables. If you want to get in, fill out the form. We are basically going to be more scrutinous about these vendor tables than the original set. We, based on like last year's floor plan, we should be able to add more tables in. We don't want to compromise the space. People love the space, but we might be able to get more in. So we may well have another 10, 20 tables, but we're only going to add tables if the vendors themselves we think will actually super improve the show, you know? But we've sold over 100 tables. We are sold out of tables. That didn't even include our tables, so we also have to factor that in, Jason, how many tables will Soccer Cards United have on the day. But yeah, so we're sold out. It took 3 days to do that from the official launch. So holy smokes, and thank you so much to everyone.
Yes, thank you everyone who has decided to jump in and dive in and have a great time vending at the Dublin Card Show Year 2. There are people kind of who are already on that waiting list, so feel free to add your name into the hat. And if we can add some more tables as we, put places for sponsors and places for activations and places for other stuff around the room, there may be an opportunity to add some tables. Some people may drop out, although touch wood, I hope not. So it's very exciting. I'm very excited, and I keep thinking it's 2025 in my mind. I keep going to write the year and writing 2025 because I'm already kind of projecting myself.
You're eager.
I'm eager. I cannot wait.
No, we're only in September. But like we've had a lot of international vendors. We've had international vendors returning. Some that have traveled far and wide, transatlantic. I'm talking about, Jason. You know, we're giving business to our friends at Aer Lingus who just refuse to sponsor us as of now, but we'll crack that eventually, maybe in 2025. But no, it's genuinely brilliant. Thank you to everyone, especially the internationals that are coming back again, because we know how difficult it is to travel around and vend internationally. So, and the new internationals that are coming. Jason, I'm very excited. Because that was kind of tables. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things stressful to be put on the event. First of all, you have to get the venue, get it all in order, get the date, which is very big. We announced our date early, which was very helpful, I think, hoping to not have any clashes. Then it's vendor tables. Then it's attendees. It's sponsors. Like, these are all the stressful things. Vendor tables stress is off our plate. Venue stress, date stress off our plate. We're confident on the attendees. We're very confident on the sponsors. So it's kind of like, all right, this card show business not that difficult, I say.
We've got a card show on our hands for sure.
No doubt about it.
It's like when you get a bid on an eBay auction or something, and it's like, this item will sell.
That's right.
This card show will run.
Yeah, the show is going. It's happening.
The show is going. Yeah, there's it's all happening on March 1st, 2025. So if you haven't got your arrangements made to come to the show as an attendee, get them made.
Yeah, get it together.
Plan in advance.
The VIP bags, the VIP tickets have continued to be a roaring success.
Yeah, people are very excited about those VIPs to the point now where I feel like there was almost at a certain point there was a switch of momentum where it went from like, we have the power and people are excited to buy these tickets to like, oh my God, so many people are buying these tickets. We have to provide a VIP experience.
Yeah, the likes of which no one has ever seen.
Yeah, but you know what? We can do it.
Yeah, we have a lot to do this month and next month, I'd say, in preparation for what is the 1st of March, 2025.
So we see.
So yeah, it's actually, you know what? It's nice to open the show with a bit of positivity about kind of activities that we're doing and getting up to. I feel like oftentimes we're just kind of working and we're not talking about the work we're doing, because there is works happening in the background that we haven't talked about on the show at all.
Top secret works
that we're hoping is going to line up beautifully with the Dublin Card Show, but that is a different matter altogether. But there's a lot of top secret, stuff going on, that we don't talk about. So it's nice to talk about the show. It's nice to get excited about the show.
A swan or a duck situation where I suppose a swan is more complimentary example. We're on the podcast, we're gracefully kind of swimming through the waters of the hobby. Meanwhile, under the water, we're
Oh, we're flying. I think, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, now I understand.
Yeah.
Jason,
I
it's
got to
good
the end
to
of that
see you.
analogy.
You're looking well. I don't know if you just got the hair chopped. I don't know if it's just you're not wearing a hat today. I don't know what the thing is, but you're looking well. You're looking fresh. You're looking rejuvenated.
Thank you. I did just get a haircut, and a beard trim as well. So I'm
That's on my
feeling
list. Look
fresh.
at me. I look an absolute mess. I need to do
Ah,
that.
you look. Is that a new hoodie?
Do you know it's not? It's a rediscovered, refound hoodie, and it's very good. It's, you know what? The reason it's heavy. It's a heavy duty hoodie. It's
So
heavy.
it's not for summer.
It's not for summer. So I got it kind of leading into the summer. So I kind of shelved it. I've rediscovered it because, as people should know, the weather has changed in Dublin. It has taken a turn for the worse. It's starting to get cold. You know, I had a small illness a week or two ago because of that weather change.
On account of the weather changing. Yeah.
On account of the weather change. Because you know me, I'm a shorts guy. I'm always in my shorts. So now I have this hoodie on.
Yeah, which means that, sorry, if I could just parse the logic of that. You're a shorts guy, which means that when the weather changes, you don't change with it. So you just have to suffer the impact of that.
But then the hoodies fix it. There's no, I don't adapt to that weather change.
Yes, I was thinking, because most people, when the weather changes, they kind of would either gear up or gear down.
Yeah.
But I understand. The amount of protection on your legs is held constant. That's the control in the experiment.
I'm a constant. I'll add a hoodie, and that's because I enjoy hoodies. But in the summer, it gets too hot.
Yeah,
that's all. Like, I can't even get into it.
Okay, right, fine. But it's good to know that we're all positive. The vendor tables are flying. We've got our various grooming and fashion things in swing.
I'm gonna get myself cut soon. My haircut and my beard. Although I'll tell you this, Jason.
Yeah,
I'm going to a party that's themed in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
right? And
you're going to give away the theme on the
I'm going to give away the theme. This is partially why I'm going to ask for advice from you, or maybe even the listener. But I'm going to keep it to you because I think the listener doesn't want to hear this. So it's Heaven, Hell, and the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah.
Have you done this before?
No, I was. I was recently.
You were invited to one, you didn't do it.
I know about maybe last year. I was at a kind of a religious kind of themed party. Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be opposite of religion. Let me tell you. But yes, it's going to be a bit of.
Well, no, sorry, it wasn't religious. It wasn't like I wasn't. You know, it wasn't like kind of tea and cake. It was a bit devious, like what you're describing. Anyway, go ahead.
So I don't know what kind of. What it's like, you have to, like, you got to dress up. You got to be, you know, the theme is the theme. They're not to turn you away at the door. So I'm kind of trying to lean into the beard at the moment because I'm thinking I could get away with something kind of cheeky, you know, a few sandals, and I'm kind of
go as an apostle or something, or a disciple,
a religious figure. Yes.
Yeah.
I really want to.
Is there a Saint Enzo?
No, I don't think so. There should be.
There should be.
I might just have to walk around with an apple and just ask people to bite the apple.
You'd be the snake.
That's right.
Yes. Well, our listeners can write in with their favorite biblical references, images, such like
anything
that.
Really.
Anything really. But I was at this this similarly themed party, and I would say of the men that were there, probably 50 to 60% of us were dressed as priests.
I was about to say black, and just get a little white collar.
Yeah. It's just like you dress as a priest, forget about it.
Don't worry, move on.
Don't worry. Yeah. Because no one can say you're not dressed up. You are dressed up. It's just not, it's not your fault what they wear.
What do you put there? How do you do the white thing? What is that?
I actually took like a piece of sort of like white card that you get. You know when you buy a shirt and sometimes there's a bit of thing holding the
or like
collar?
In a cap, in the kind of brim
or in a cap, brim of a cap. And you turn that around so it's facing the other way, so it's a kind of wide, and then it goes narrow. And then I think I just maybe safety pinned it or taped it on the back.
Do you know what, listener? You don't need to even message it. Jason has just fixed it. I can get my hair cut. Brilliant, wonderful,
brilliant. We did it.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Now let's move on to Hobby HQ.
Sorry, people.
I just wanted to start off to say that there was a few boxes of UEFA Dynasty ending on Probstein last night. And I was slightly worried when I saw this. I had the boxes on my watch list for the last kind of 7-day auction or whatever. But I was actually quite impressed by their performance.
Okay.
We've had, let's see. So there was 3 of them. Yeah. $2,500, $2,600, and $2,375. All individual boxes. I think that's a very strong performance at this point in the Dynasty journey.
Did they all end on the same day as well?
They did, yeah. There was 3 of them. That's why I was like, oh my God, one of these is going to go for...
one's going to die.
One's going to die, and then there's going to be a lot of people like, what the heck?
Love
Um,
those dresses.
yeah, because I look at those. There's an auction there for 2023 F1 Dynasty. That's
Mm.
for 1,800 for two of them. So
Yeah, I've to be honest with the DL Dynasty, I feel like it's drying up a little bit in terms
yeah,
of access to boxes. Um,
there's two
despite the
days
fact that
earlier
like,
a case for $14,400.
wow, very strong.
Right,
But like,
go
despite the
ahead.
fact that like singles are not necessarily performing well compared to the boxes, certain singles are, and that's kind of how hobby boxes in general work. So I would say like the post mortem of it all is a lot more successful than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, I would agree with that as well. I'm kind of like going, all right, it seems to be working.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. Obviously, it's dependent on them like just not doing this again for a few years, which I think won't happen. I think they will make more, or similar. We've seen Bold. We don't know how high end Bold is or whatever, but yeah, it's been healthy pretty much since the end of August. The prices have been comfortably over 2,500, pretty much still for hobby boxes.
Yeah, and like we were saying before this came out, kind of anticipating what might happen. If you look at these, singles, some of them justify the price of the box, some of them don't, and yet the price of the box is holding or is slowly rising over time, which is the exact same as a Flawless or an Eminence or National Treasures or anything at all, where it's like maybe not National Treasures, the most recent one, but the one before that, where it's like, yeah, the singles don't add up, but it's just getting more and more and more scarce. The people who are ending up with it are the
Going to
ones
open it.
least inclined to sell for a cheap price.
Yeah, and it's like people that hit the cards are kind of become instant grail cards. Like depending on the card, I seen someone hit a 101 Kevin De Bruyne with the Man City patch, which
Mm,
someone else was hunting down, and they were like, "Congratulations to this person for hitting it." I was hunting this down. It's probably the number one Kevin De Bruyne card ever, from their opinion,
yeah,
and it's just like it's a set that kind of created cards like that. So I'm super into it, and like people are getting it out of breaks as well. So a lot of people aren't spending crazy money. Like obviously, it's high risk, high reward in that regard.
yeah.
But it does feel like people are kind of people are having fun with it. I don't know.
It's good. I've enjoyed just seeing it move to its own market segment. That's what I was worried about, because like we always have this kind of like thing of soccer is like so kind of so close and so new, and the community is quite close knit compared to other sports communities. Like I don't feel like high end basketball collectors would interact with low end basketball collectors as often as the same thing would happen in soccer.
Yeah, NBA
Um,
hoops and NBA flawless are two different cohorts.
yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of hundreds of thousands or millions of people or whatever kind of collecting, and they're not necessarily talking. Whereas in soccer, like we all kind of are in the same rooms in the same conversations. So I was kind of worried that this was going to go badly, but there is obviously a market segment there who are happy to adopt this product and kind of move it up into their echelon and say, yeah, this is our kind of thing. You don't have to worry about it. We're taking care of it.
100%. And you can't remember, there's mystery redemptions in this that have yet to be announced. So
That's true.
there could still be, like, we remember with the MLS stuff when they announced Messi was the mystery redemption. Obviously, the fact that at that point in time it was an on card Messi made it a real kind of attractive thing, because on card really wasn't happening at all. But
Yeah.
prices start moving when that happens. So, most expectation of three possible people, assuming the mystery redemption isn't just one person, that people are saying, could it be Garnacho? Could it be Ibrahimovic? Could it be Ronaldo?
Yeah.
My bet is on Cristiano, of course. I think they're
Hmm.
all that. I think that would make sense, because I feel like that was what the big delay on Dynasty was. Messi and Ronaldo, because they had both obviously left Europe.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think let's say it's Cristiano Ronaldo, and they release an image of what would be a beautiful card. You would imagine, whether it's just the United kit, whether they do Lisbon, whether they do United, whatever.
Yeah.
You'd imagine obviously there's going to be a big buzz about that, and probably people degenning boxes again because people just cannot
Yeah.
help it.
It's also that thing of like, say it is Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I a lot of people who listen to this show, or a lot of people who we would talk to, or kind of mutual followers or whatever on social, for us would be like, oh, it's Cristiano. Like that's kind of like everyone knows that or whatever. Like or it's these three people, but it's probably this one. Like that's kind of taken for granted. But there are loads of people. What I've come to realize is, and maybe I was naive to not realize this before, there are loads of people whose only interaction with the hobby, especially at the high end, is buying into high end breaks,
Mm.
who really don't like, they know, say it's soccer breakers. They break with soccer breakers, and that is their interaction with the hobby. They are not necessarily listening to Soccer Cards United. They're not necessarily on Sports Collectors Daily. They're not, whatever it is.
No,
Like
they're on
they're
Sports
not.
Daily at least.
No, I don't. I really don't think they are. Yeah, they're not in like the Facebook groups. They're not kind of just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through hobby Instagram or whatever. So like they're like when Cyrus, say from Soccer Breakers, announces, "Oh my God, it's Cristiano Ronaldo," and the breaks are loaded up tonight. To them, that's news, and they just go, "Oh great, here's another, whatever.
Here's another check.
Here's another check." You write, yeah, they write it, and then everyone goes home happy, I suppose. But yeah, so it's good to remind ourselves that not everybody is absolutely laser focused in on what
goes on.
What goes on, yeah.
But I've seen it. I see here a Neymar, Jason, 8th of September, 2 days ago. A Neymar 305 patch auto, and it did $2,600 on auction with MC Sports Cards.
Right.
It's funny that Neymar has kind of almost peeked his head out of Dynasty into a bigger way, because like there's so much talk about the Neymar hobby. Neymar is one of the biggest hits in Dynasty.
Yeah.
And that's a Dynasty full of hits. Like there's not players amiss from that. Like there's not people left out. But like if you follow the hobby, you would have, if you just follow the hobby, especially on Twitter, you would assume that Kevin De Bruyne's cards would be higher than Neymar.
Yes. Yeah.
Jude Bellingham's cards would be higher than Neymar. It's Jude Bellingham, they'd say.
Yeah.
But Neymar has really rose from the ashes here, and he is demanding big figures for his cards.
Yeah, Neymar is not Figo. We've reminded ourselves. It's different. It's Neymar. Yeah.
Yeah, Neymar is special.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. I have 2 items of Topps marketing the hobby to discuss.
Okay. Cool.
The first is a new, I think it's new, hobby web series, which is being hosted by Kevin Smith, who's a film director of such films as Clerks and Dogma and other things like that. He's also kind of like a famous nerd. He's like a big comics guy. He was going to direct a Superman movie starring Nicolas Cage in the 90s. There's a good documentary about that I recommend watching. But he has this show for Topps on YouTube that I just saw called Cards on the Table with Kevin Smith.
Now,
good name for a show.
Right there. Yeah. Do you know that name for the show exists in the hobby already?
No, what's that?
That's a Jeff Wilson special.
They booted Jeff out of it and put in Kevin Smith?
No, I'm saying Jeff has a show called Cards on the Table. I'm convinced.
Oh my word!
I'm typing it as we speak.
So you reckon that Sports Card Investor already have a Cards on the Table kind of chat show or whatever it is, whatever it may be?
Definitely, it was. Could have sworn it was called Cards on the Table. Have I lost my head? Have I created that?
Or does it just sound so good that you've assumed it kind of always existed?
No, I'm telling you now, I don't see it anywhere unless it could have been bought. Was Cards on the Table bought?
Did they buy it and say that's too good a name? Here, scrub all your videos.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Although I recently seen, I'll get in. Maybe I shouldn't. Jeff was up to no good. Like I don't feel sorry for Jeff because what I seen him do.
Okay. Well, let's not get into that on the.
No, I will. Can I get into it?
Okay, fine. Let me just. I'll talk about Kevin Smith and his web series in a second.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm 99% sure Cards on the Table is a Jeff Wilson thing, Sports Card Investor. I'm 99% sure. And I can't really find it anywhere. So I am assuming maybe he sold it to Topps. I don't really know if that's a thing, the brand or whatever. I don't know. But I've definitely seen him say Cards on the Table. Someone tell me if that's correct or not correct, because I cannot find it for the life of me now. However, what he did, so if he was just blatantly robbed, right? And obviously it's a very generic name, so I'm not going to hate. Recently, I seen a YouTube short when I was scrolling, and he copied exactly the format that Luke at Solve Collectibles does for ripping boxes. In his short form. But it was the same, and I went straight to the comments, and the comments let him know. We've seen
the one where it like adds the money,
and it's like his girlfriend is going like, don't do it, no, you're not going to make your money. And he's going, I might make my money, maybe, let me see. Exactly the same. It wasn't as authentic, even though that one, the original one's not that authentic, but it was crazy. I'll show it to you after. It's very fun.
It was somehow less organic.
It was very bizarre. But everyone in the comments held Luke to their heart and said, don't do that. Don't come for
Luke's format.
I'm hoping I hope he didn't sell Cards on the Table, because I don't know what to think.
Anyway, so this apparently is a new series called Cards on the Table. Kevin Smith, the Topps are putting on their YouTube channel. Kevin Smith is kind of a famous nerd, and that's the kind of everything you need to know about that. Okay. The first episode is the guest is an actress called Katie Sackhoff, who played in animation and as a live action thing a Star Wars character called Bo-Katan Kryze in various television shows, right? And so basically what happens is in the thing, it comes on, and then Kevin Smith kind of gives a little kind of thing about cards, and he says like I collected cards when I was a kid, and gives it the kind of the standard kind of spiel, and it and then gets the guest on, and they kind of just talk about different cards. They have different segments,
brilliant.
So yeah, it's really good. Like it's squad showdown. They each pick like their own kind of who they would have on their squad and all this kind of thing. And it's like I watched it and I was like, this is very good. This is like actually get the guy, go and get Kevin Smith, who's a famous nerd we can get to do this Star Wars thing. Go get Kevin Smith, famous Star Wars fan, right? Okay. Get an actress from the Star Wars TV shows, get her in and do it. And I feel like this is the kind of stuff, obviously, that is fanatics, you know?
Yeah, like this is a bit of like, this is Hot Ones, this is sneaker shopping. Is that what we're saying? Is it that vibe?
Yeah, I'm saying like this is like good kind of like sponsored content.
Yeah.
Branded content, which like as someone who's in the hobby, I'm like, yeah, because people will click on it because of who it is hosting it, because of who the guest is on it, because it's Star Wars, and then they'll be like, oh, what's this cards thing? And I mean, some of the comments I would have sworn were planted. Like some of the comments were like, I love Star Wars, but I didn't know they made cards. Where let me go to buyingcards.com to get some. Or it was like, you know, but a little bit basic, but still very exciting to see. It seems like a low bar, but it's still exciting when you see like, oh my God, they're marketing the hobby.
Okay, look at this, Jason. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. Oh my God, is this breaking news?
No, share screen. So, can you see this? Tell me when you can see this.
Yes, everyone can see this now.
Right, so this is like a playlist from Sports Card Investor, and it is titled Cards on the Table. 9 are unavailable videos that are hidden.
Okay. Didn't age well, probably.
No, but that could be like, I don't know. I feel like they used to have a thumbnail that was Cards on the Table, so I have a feeling they did actually wipe it, and maybe they swapped over. They sold the Cards on the Table name, potentially.
Really?
Because, like, updated 4 days ago as well. Like, I don't know.
So what started as an innocent segment about me pointing out Kevin Smith was promoting the hobby has become potentially
the name. I don't know. Because I've seen the name before. So I didn't see that new Kevin Smith thing. I totally missed that. I completely missed that piece of news. So congratulations, Jason, for catching it.
Thank you.
That was a good one. A good catch by you. But yeah, no, that Cards on the Table is definitely a Jeff Wilson branded thing.
Right. Well, if anyone has any insight into the kind of the backroom dealings that led to Cards on the Table being switched over the tops, you let us know.
But I do feel like Cards on the Table is so generic, and it probably wasn't like a protected name.
Yeah, you couldn't trademark the words Cards on the Table.
I don't think so. I will get to the bottom of this again.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to updates on that on future episodes. Now, Enzo, do you remember Hobby Rip Night last year when there was like Tops had all these local hobby shops all over America, and Tom Brady would turn up and Kevin Durant would turn up and people would turn up these shops and rip cards? Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
It was the kind of thing that we looked at here in Europe and said, oh, one day I wish we could have
such an event.
Hobby Rip Night, a network of local hobby shops around Europe. And sure enough, Hobby Rip Night is now expanded to be a global event.
Let's go.
So this is an article about Hobby Rip Night on Tops Ripped, and so Rip Night, all that stuff. Be sure to visit your local hobby shop to experience on September 14th. This is to experience the ultimate night of sports card collecting. New to the hobby, returning to the hobby, or a lifelong collector, Tops Hobby Rip Night rocks with rip parties, trade nights, and special giveaways. Get ready for big fun and even bigger pulls. So last year there was Ronald Acuna Jr., Tom Brady. Oh, Tom Brady was at Skybox Collectibles, which is where we got the John O'Shea.
Oh, yeah.
Damar Hamlin, Darryl Strawberry, all sorts of very exciting guests at various places. Steve Aoki was at Legacy Sports Card in Las Vegas.
He was there already. Perfect.
And look at this. So here's all one side of the Atlantic.
Wow.
Other side of the Atlantic, you go in here, and there are 5 locations where Hobby Rip Night is taking place in Europe. This is very exciting.
We have Milan, which I would assume is Pianetta.
Pianetta or Planet the Hobby.
Pianetta. I should actually tell Francesca about that. She lives really close by, like 1 block away. Get an on the ground report.
Have they accidentally capitalized that I think it was an L?
Like Planeta Hobby?
Yeah, they have Planeta Hobby. I thought it was Pianetta.
You know, I could have sworn it was. It does not say Pianetta there on the left, maybe. Pianetta is what it's definitely called. It's not called. Come on. I know.
Planeta. So that may be a typo there on the old Tops website.
Yeah, it's Pianetta.
Anyway, so that's
I miss out on the ability to go into the shop.
Well, if you were there on September 14th.
No, I know. And I could be. It's a very hop and a skip and a jump.
Yeah. There's also, of course, one of the OGs of the European hobby, Trace and Chase in Thessaloniki in Greece.
Beautiful.
Very exciting. So in Greece, in Italy, then we come up to outside Dusseldorf in Langenfeld, Germany, the famous B Brothers store. We've been there.
We've been there. Look at that. There's one so close to them. Who was that? We've not been there. Was this Max's shop, maybe?
It's Dave and Adams in the Netherlands, in Roermond.
Oh, close enough.
Just over the German-Dutch border. So you got Netherlands, you got Greece, you got Italy, you got Germany, and then you take a little skip across the English Channel to London, where the team at Kaboom Cards will be hosting a hobby
been there as well.
Been there as well. That's right.
So we've been to 2 of the. Is there 5 or 4? 5.
There's 5. There's 5 that are hosting events. There's more.
We've been to 2 of the 5 hosting the events, and I've almost been to 3 of the 5. I keep missing Milan, but I will get them.
You've been outside. You've been inside right 2 of them and outside 3 of them.
That's right.
So I think that's a very exciting, maybe not of a great interest to our international listeners, our American listeners or whatever, but very exciting to see that.
100%. That's cool. I would imagine, I don't know. I'm excited to see who the kind of appearances are. With Italy, you'd imagine Chiellini could pop his head in.
He's been there before.
He's been around those parts.
Just to say, there's also one in Shanghai and one in Tokyo. That's okay to do, isn't it? I don't have to cut that out, do I? In the Mint Lab in Tokyo in Toyota City. So that's very exciting. And then one in Shanghai as well, in Bing Cache.
There you go.
So, brilliant. So Hobby Rip Night is now a global event.
And just seeing those little pins on the diagram just shows you how developed and how much of a hobby this is in the States as opposed to the rest of the world, and how much the hobby still has to go. Because that's insane. What are the ones there in the
sports cards up in Anchorage, Alaska? Now there's a sports card shop to visit.
No, get me there to the North Pacific. North Pacific.
There's that's 2? Hawaii.
Oh, Jason, please.
One on Honolulu and one on the island of. Hang on. There's on Honolulu and then one on Kahului.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Derek can tell us how to pronounce that.
Can we go there?
Can we go to Hawaii just to go to
I would be a bit scared flying to Hawaii. For no reason.
Flying to Hawaii from, I guess, California, do you?
Yeah, because it's so small, the island. Like, I know it's not in context of a plane, it's not, but just on a map, I kind of like, we can't land on something so small.
Yes.
That's what I think about the Maldives.
Hang on a second. There's 2 hobby shops where hobby airplanes taking place on the island of Honolulu. And then...
why can't we be on Honolulu?
On Maui. The island's Maui.
Coconut.
Yeah, coconut. You think you got a straw from a coconut?
Couple of hobby shops, Jason. That's a... funny it wasn't 4 days away.
Yeah. So exciting whether you're in Greece or whether you're on the island of Honolulu.
Yep. There you go.
Time zones. I
like that they synchronize it all and it's one big day. Like, that's unbelievable. That is good.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
So, and it's, as you say, it's going to be very interesting to see if Tom Brady is at, whatever sports card shop in wherever he is, who's going to be at these global ones.
That's right. We'll soon find out.
Okay, question here from a listener. From Becker 17 on YouTube. Not Becker. No, not Becker from Blaze, but it could be.
Come on.
Could be a burner account. A Becker burner. Hi, Soccer Cards United. Hello. I usually listen on the audio podcast and I always appreciate your episodes. Thank you. But I wanted to pose a question, hence here I am on YouTube. Okay. Here's the question. The contemporary soccer market is, of course, driven by serial numbered parallels and super short print inserts, while the pre-modern market, think 1990s, early 2000s, is focused on scarcity or condition rarity of key cards and stickers of legends. But the value of these pre-modern iconic cards and stickers still often strike me as very low, comparatively speaking, to contemporary cards. For instance, take this comparison. And he's deliberately choosing cards he doesn't own, which is considerate.
That's considerate.
So 1, the 1996 Panini Foot Thierry Henry sticker in a PSA through to PSA 8 to a PSA 10. So the top kind of 3 grades, whatever. The market cap of those 3 grades of that card is roughly $240,000.
Okay.
So I guess market cap for anyone listening would mean total value of, if you added all the value, all those cards up, it would be 240k. And that's one of Henry's only rookie cards, and it's certainly his most iconic. While the second example, just the base PSA 10 of Erling Haaland's 2019 Top Scrum Bundesliga card has a market cap of $270,000. And that includes no numbered variations or any of his other key rookie cards. So, will the market ever start to value these earlier cards in a more significant way? Your thoughts will be appreciated, presuming this question isn't too long or complicated. And then he says, Forza Roma from NYC. Little shout out to Roma there. Ooh.
Oh.
So, slightly confusing question.
But makes total sense.
He's saying that the total value of all the PSA 10 Bundesliga Chrome base cards of Erling Haaland is more than the total value of all of the PSA 8 to PSA 10 Henry rookie stickers. Yeah. And the question is, will that ever flip?
Potentially.
And the answer is maybe.
I would say yeah. I would say yeah. I would say it would.
I think so. I think so personally. Yeah.
I seen a funny thing on Twitter of Thierry Henry, an image of Thierry Henry walking away from the Champions League trophy in 2002, maybe 2004. When they lost to Barcelona, but in the background it was
2006, was it? When he moved to Barcelona in the final summer,
yeah, exactly. So 2006 Arsenal-Barcelona final. Lost it. There was a photo of him in his classic O2 kit and kind of walking away from the trophy. But the background image was Katie Abdo's wedding.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That was a funny moment, I suppose.
Definitely.
Not for Thierry Henry.
No, certainly not for Katie Abdo. This, an 8.5, that's throwback. This is an Unreal. It's an Unreal sticker partially because it's so big, it's card size. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Panini stickers are not often card size. So I do kind of love that. You're basically getting a card. It is a sticker, but it's big. And so it looks good in a PSA slab, whereas a lot of stickers don't necessarily.
Yeah, they're dwarfed by the slab.
Yeah, I mean, people are kind of thrown off by stickers only because they believe they were mass-produced. But yes, facts of the matter are, if you look at the pop report, if you look at the actual data, as he has done, the person who was asked this question, the backer himself, Becker, whatever. You know, I think this should... the market cap of that, in my brain, the market cap of that from 8, 9, 10 should be higher than the market cap of the Thierry Henry, or on the Erling Haaland Bundesliga.
The Erling Haaland base card.
Yeah,
PSA
definitely.
10. Yeah.
And significantly so, I would say. Not even marginally.
Yes. I think if you look at the vintage market, and the vintage market is so healthy at the moment in terms of, like, you know, pre-war soccer and then like coming into the 50s, 60s, 70s, that's all very, very healthy. And probably if the vintage market keeps growing, then the next kind of one would be pre-modern. So the likes of your Thierry Henry, your Zidane, your Ibrahimovic, all those kind of rookie stickers and all that stuff. I do think that's just a case of market maturity. I think it'll just take time. It's not as, it's also like, if you're kind of a football fan who decides to come in and get into cards, and then you do have kind of a natural attraction to not necessarily prospecting, but getting involved in players that you're currently watching. Because it's like, if you kind of sell the hobby to somebody to come in and like join the soccer card hobby, and it's like, you could very easily use the example of, so for instance, let's say you buy an Erling Haaland PSA 10 rookie card, and then he scores 3 hat-tricks in a row, that'll go up in value, and they're like, oh, brilliant. But if you said to them, like, okay, let's say, for instance, you bought a 1996 Thierry Henry Panini foot in a PSA 8.5, then you would just wait then, and it would go up in value. Do you know what I mean? It's not quite as, it's not kind of the whole kind of journey that you can kind of sell to people. So I think people, first of all, they come in because they can kind of see the cause and effect with an Erling Haaland base card PSA 10 rookie, even if that's not a great investment compared to this or whatever. It's just time, I think.
Oh, I'd agree. It's a timing. I suppose, yeah, it's less sexy, less fun, less of a thing. But like, even like that card there is so fucking brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's incredible.
For Henry's rookie to be him with a little fro looking brilliant, you know, it's just like, it's so nice.
Yeah, and he has the cool, like, kind of like surf thing here.
It's unbelievable. Then you see him today, and obviously, thankfully, like, he's a pundit, so, and you know, you still see him in the public eye, and he's still, like, in fairness, like, now he would do things like go viral and stuff. So he's actually like, he's an internet kind of star as well. Like, he's a, you know, TV star.
Yeah,
whatever.
I suppose
like, it is
the particular example of Henry. He is.
He's still super relevant, and he, you know, can go viral or whatever. But it's like, then you look at that, and it's brilliant. Like, you could picture, and this is actually, here you go, fanatics, think this. You could picture Thierry Henry and the crew, the Champions League crew, pulling up that photo of his rookie card, and them all clowning him, and be like, hey.
Yeah. What was going on with that necklace, kind of thing?
Yeah, if you want to then look at the little mustache, and you know, you can picture Big Meeks laughing his head off. that would be quite a moment, So like, yeah, I don't know. I think that card's unbelievable. I do think obviously a lot of people will struggle with a card like that has PSA 10 copies to be buying lower than PSA 10. The people that would
Yeah.
actually be moving the market.
Yeah.
But yeah, just you see something like that, it is brilliant. I suppose there is a fear of, is there loads of them somewhere, whatever. But like, it's kind of safe to assume a 1996 card, most of them were stuck in. They were stickers as well, which is the beauty of them. It's not just, oh, someone might find them in condition. Chances are anyone that had them stuck them into a book. So yeah, no, it's a good question, and it's good to be thinking about those sort of things.
Good thought, and I think as well, like more people, like maybe we brought this up recently on the show as well, but like we know ourselves, like from the last kind of few years, we've seen the same people at card shows and the same people kind of around the stock card hobby, and over time, people do just kind of become I don't mean like more mature in terms of like they grow up. I just mean in terms of their approach to the market, where they're like they kind of mature a little bit, and they're like, do you know what, I couldn't really be arsed buying the latest guy in a PSA 10 rookie card. I'm just going to go and buy this like cool Henri card that I like, or I'm going to go get this Zidane or whatever. But that just takes time because you have to be in it and you have to be kind of spending money in it for a while before you then kind of like become a bit more discerning. So I think in 10 years time and 15 years time, the fact that this was even a question may be like, whew,
yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Imagine that there was a time when XYZ. So yeah, very exciting. We have one last item on the show.
Okay.
And it's not card related, but it is collectibles related because it refers to my baseball cap collection.
Oh boy!
Because I was dragged recently by a long-time listener of the show, Cedar Hollow Cards,
Shout out to
Cedar, yep, who reached out with the following tweet. So it's two pictures of me. Which, first of all, I don't love seeing two pictures of me side by side at the internet.
Can I say that happened twice on the internet recently? Our mentions are just photos of us. Yeah, Cheney.
Yeah. And you know, I will take some solace in the fact that I think that's to do with the consistency at which we're putting out the podcast.
Great.
So that's, on the one hand, I'm like, oh, please don't post me on the internet. On the other hand, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like to see it.
Yeah. As the kind of like, as the person in the picture, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But as the producer of the show, I'm like, good. Share that. Anyway, so one of these pictures, for anyone listening that can't see what we're talking about, one of these pictures is me in a Philadelphia Phillies baseball cap. And another one is me in a New York Mets baseball cap.
Well, we found out recently the Mets cause a lot of problems in the sporting world. We didn't know.
Everyone hates the Mets, it turns out.
I'll take it.
No Mets fans have gotten in touch really to say go Mets or anything like that, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Cedar Hollow says, we've seen him, that's me, in Yankees, Cubs, Dodgers, and other hats, but wearing that blue after wearing the red, unacceptable. Shame on you at Soccer Cards United. Shame on you. Hashtag Phillies. Hashtag ring the bell. So there seems to be some sort of problem with wearing a Phillies and then a Mets hat. And later on, actually on YouTube, he left a different comment, which I appreciate. It was very, very it was absolutely very important that I see this and feel the necessary shame. That it would be the equivalent of wearing a Manchester United jersey one week and a Manchester City jersey the following week. And I'll say this just on that first example. I don't support Manchester United or Manchester City. So if I did wear a Manchester United jersey and then wear a Manchester City jersey back-to-back weeks, that would not present any issue that he would. In terms of like, it wouldn't. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. There is apparently a very intense Phillies-Mets rivalry. Would you like to hear a bit about it?
Please. Yeah. And also, I'm wearing a Cleveland Guardians hat right now in solace and support of your ability to wear any baseball cap you want, Jason, without being judged.
Thank you very much.
Because ultimately, you're not associated to any of these clubs at this moment in time to a point where it's anything other than what would I call it? Touristic memorabilia.
The trinkets.
Now, not to disrespect the great sport, baseball, or the great
sporting
franchises and or teams in the States, and regardless of the sport. However, this is like if the Yankees were in town, you wouldn't have a Mets hat. Let's just say that.
That's right. Yeah, So the Mets Phillies rivalry, we're all learning something today. Or the Battle of the Broads. is a Major League Baseball rivalry between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Both are members of the National League East. The rivalry between the two clubs is said to be among the most fiercely contested in the National League. So you would imagine that the biggest rival of the New York Mets would be the New York Yankees.
That's what I assume to be the case.
But they don't play in the same division.
That's crazy.
So as far as I know, maybe that's not even true, but I think it's kind of like, you know how like Manchester United's biggest traditional rival isn't Manchester City, it's Liverpool.
Yes.
It's kind of one of those situations. The two National League East divisional rivals met recently in the playoff, division, and wildcard races. The Battle of the Broads is a name to both cities having the word broad in their major thoroughfare. Broadway in New York and Broad Street in Philadelphia.
Fascinating. Jason, Philly or New York City? What do you prefer? Let's really start a debate.
Do
you know, you don't have
the different categories of city, the different kinds of cities.
I just want to say Philly cheesesteaks, my favorite. That's all I have to say.
Philly cheesesteaks, the movie Rocky,
the Rocky Balboa statue.
Yeah, the steps.
The fact that if you get to Philadelphia, the chances are that in this hobby, if you get to Philadelphia, chances are you've moved away from Atlantic City, which is a big win.
Yeah,
feels fantastic.
I think in terms of like, what have I felt more relief going to? I've felt great relief going to Philadelphia.
That's right.
But you know what, Enzo? The biggest thing I wanted to say was, and this I'm not going to draw any conclusions from this. I was like feeling all bad about this. Then I saw all this stuff about a different Philadelphia sports franchise, the Philadelphia 76ers, who are the basketball team there. Mm-hmm. And look at this recent story. They've got an offer from New Jersey, and they said we must take all potential options seriously. Hundreds of millions of dollars in tax credits and millions more in government-issued bonds could be available to the Philadelphia 76ers if they decide to build their proposed arena and residential project 76 Place in Camden, New Jersey. So I'm supposed to believe that Philadelphia is some sort of absolute bastion of sporting integrity. They feel like you can't, it's just an inviolable right to respect Philadelphia sports. Meanwhile, the 76ers are flirting with Jersey.
Listen. I don't want to continue because we've had this before on the podcast. I don't want to talk about the integrity or lack of integrity that exists in American sports culture by the fact that franchises leave their states, cities, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it. Because
I don't want to get into it either. I'm just saying it, and I'm going to leave it there.
I can see your Guardian jersey in the background here as well as your Guardian cap. All I'm going to say is, if we own a cap, it's because we've been to the city or the stadium where those caps should exist. And we always go for the home team because we like to be involved with the crowd, home team.
Yeah,
I am reminded of a 2009, 2010 kind of series of Drake wearing every single top four team's jersey or jacket or hat. I remember that well. I remember he was on Rio 35, his little show, and a Man United get up. He's been seen in Chelsea, Man City, I believe, maybe not at the time, probably Arsenal, probably Liverpool. But that was a fun meme back in the day. Jason, you've become that meme. That's all that can be said. You're trying to defend it. You're trying to defend it, but you're not. You're 2010 Drake. I hope your career turns out better.
I hope so. So I'd like to just apologize to any Philly fans who were offended, any Mets fans who've been offended, anyone who's been struggling with these baseball caps, and I think everyone's excellent. How's that?
Ultimately, I think that we want to say that we support the great game of baseball.
That's, for me, I support the sport. If I could get a cap that just said baseball on it, I'd wear that.
Do you know what the reality is?
What's that?
The reality is you're a neutral in the sporting realm of baseball. You're a neutral, I'm a neutral. So the reality is no baseball team franchise has, to date, none of them have captured our hearts. That's the truth.
Yep. So
we've appreciated the experiences we've had, particularly for me, particularly with the Guardians, because they didn't lose their game like the Mets did. Those Mets. Yeah. But our hearts are open to be taken by a baseball team. Part of me feels like the Blue Jays will get me eventually, because I've been in Toronto a few times and I've never quite got to the Blue Jays stadium.
Yeah.
But I think the Blue Jays might get me someday. But as TFC did, Toronto FC is my team in the MLS, people.
Right. Yeah, because you've been to Toronto.
I've been to Toronto. I've been to a game, and Giovinco was a god.
Whereas you've seen the Guardians, you've seen the Mets, and that hasn't had quite the same effect.
No, I remember enjoying the Guardians a lot more, because we won. and the food was great. And I don't know, it was a one. The City Centre Stadium did it for me, Jason. I think that was genuinely a thrilling experience.
Okay, well, anyway, baseball is great. Everybody's great. Sorry about the hat thing.
Are you never going to wear a hat on the podcast again? Is that what we're saying?
No, I'm going to be. I decided to not wear a hat out of respect for the kind of this conversation.
Here I was standing with you. I stand with Jason.
Yeah. But this is nice for me to see a bit of support.
That's right.
Because I couldn't come out here and
said support there. So you couldn't quite get it out.
A bit of
support. Listen, all I want to say is that Italy have won 2 of the Nations League games, which I know ultimately doesn't matter, but we slaughtered France and we...
Of course it matters. It's a competitive tournament.
That's right. We slaughtered France and we beat Israel. Yeah. And it was great. We were great.
Yep. 2 goals in 2 games for Davide Frattesi, I saw.
What a player he is, by the way. And Tonali, unreal after all the betting. He kept himself in shape. Unless he had a big bet on himself to be the player of the round. He's fixed his integrity. It's brilliant.
Excellent. Right. Well, best of luck to Italy on a continuing basis. And we'll see everybody on Thursday.
Good luck to Ireland tonight against Greece.
Nah, we're going to lose against Greece.
I was tempted to go to the game, but I said, no.
Nah, there's no point. All right. Better off watching the Mets.
Oh.